Well, this is the first of the many, probably, in progress builds of my HO container ship. It's a C2 from Loyal Hannah Shipyards. The hull is just a hull. I made a base for it out of 3/8 inch plywood, 1 inch foam, quarter-inch soft foam, and another quarter-inch soft foam cut out around the ship to pretend that it's water. Just painted it blue, painted it red, and painted the base green or sea foam or something. Cutting out the styrene, I just used a jigsaw with a blade on it. Notice the blade has alternating edges alternating cutting edges, and put the cardboard underneath it and masking tape around the edge that I want to cut. And the masking tape and the cardboard knock off the little bits of plastic so it doesn't melt onto the edge of the styrene. So made bases for that, so this will sit down in here level, so I can have another container up here. Have containers. This is just a prop thing to see how the back is going to be. In between the containers, I'm going to have styrene tees to slide in here and hold the edges on all the four corners. So it basically will be 3 inside the hull and about 5 outside the hull. And there'll be one set of 3 in here, because it's the way the ship goes down, it cuts off right at the edge. This will hold 5 across, and then this goes back to being 3, and then 3 up here. So it's got 2 5s and 4 3s by a bench. So it's, the hull cost about $200, over $200, including shipping. I haven't gotten all the styrene in yet. I'm still missing a piece here and missing pieces in between and stuff. Had to order more, and when it comes in, it'll be over $200 for the styrene. But the big thing here is to fill up this container ship with 200 containers. That'd be like $2,000. So it might be a while before that ever gets finished. Oh man, $2,000 for containers. Ugh. It'd be about 200. So someday I could probably put a motor in here. The back end one comes off. Ooh, too many containers. The back end comes off. It's got a little mounts in here and a bar across the whole top. So it'll sit in here, and it sits on top of the edge. The one in front slides down in here, because this is not level. The back end, this is all pretty much level. The base was level. I had to make the base underneath here, because the front end and the back end have a little ridge on them, so it makes it wobbly. So this soft foam cushions those 2 edges, and it sits in here pretty good, pretty solid. Yep. So here we go. You cut the styrene, you put cardboard underneath it, masking tape around the styrene, cut it with a jigsaw blade. There's lots of other ways. You just search on the internet on how to cut plastic or cut plexiglass, and the same thing works for styrene. And there's, you know, you can use table saws or jigsaws, saber saws, scroll saws, all these other kind of saws. If it's thin enough, you can do the old scribe it with a razor blade and break it over the edge, but that's only on thin stuff. And that doesn't ever work for me. But if you put that plexiglass, if you put cardboard underneath it, it knocks off all those little shivers. Okay, so here we go. I don't know what else to say. This is, oh, the whole reason I'm doing this is because at some point in here, I have the base sitting on the edge. I have a couple pieces of wood underneath to raise it up off the corners of where it gets curved, because that was just too much for me to try and figure out how to make it curved. Oh no. You look at this, I'm bad enough at this. I cut up big lumps here and lumps here, and not so good at this. So I have to end up getting a sander too to sand down these edges, because it looks okay till you put it on something flat. It's not flat anymore, so I have to get a sander to sand it down flat so I can get a good joint in between here. But that's it. I'm doing this one now because I might end up having to glue all this stuff together to make it work, because somewhere in here is going to be, I don't know what. So the same as always, just step by step, throwing it up in the air and see what sticks to the floor. There we go. This is my container ship on the way someday. Here we go. Goodbye.